Why, hello there, A Knife's Tale here. I hope this video finds you well. Today I'm bringing you a summary of a knife I've done a full review on. The full review will be linked down and below. It is the longer form content. It has got all the specs and a little more rambling. This is just the summary, so a little quicker. And what are we looking at here? We're looking at the summary of the Vanguard knives Breaker. This is a Jeff Bloval. Sorry, can't 100% sure how he pronounces his name. He is a custom maker. Tough Knives is his company. He makes knives out of Pennsylvania, in fact, and I'm in Pennsylvania, so yeah. It is, of course, a Vanguard Knives collab with Jeff Bloval, and I just recently unboxed the Nakiri, also one of his designs, also from Vanguard. Apparently they're working together a lot, which is cool to see. So, what is this knife? The knife itself is pretty simple and straightforward. It's kind of minimal, kind of modernist. It's got just a drop point blade, a little bit of swedge there, simple flat scale carbon fiber handles. It is a steel liner lock in S35 blade steel with a titanium pocket clip on bearings. And I will say the bearing action is very, very good. In fact, punching above its weight class. Definitely. But the knife itself is pretty straightforward. In fact, the design itself is... It's nice. It's okay. I feel like you got a little bit more handle than blade, or at least it looks that way in person. It's looks a little weighted back in the back, but design by itself isn't really doing amazing things for me. It's just kind of nice. I don't think I would have gotten it if they didn't, have this. Yeah. Oh, that was my face. Or part of it. As you can see, this thing likes picking up and reflecting because this is a semi-mirror. They call it a semi-mirror. It's pretty close to mirror. It's a pretty good mirror. Semi-mirror DLC, which made this infinitely more interesting for me. The price also helped, but we'll get there for a second. Blade is simple. I do want to say one of the downsides is it is not super thin behind the edge. From what I've heard, a number of Vanguards are kind of like that. They're not the thinnest knives. They could work on their geometry a little bit. This is 18 thousandths behind the edge without having any sort of sharpening done. It's okay, but it's going to get a little thick fast, and I really wish it was kind of just a tiny bit thinner. Just a tiny bit. Even 15 thousandths would be, like, wonderful. I'm perfectly okay with that. But yeah, it is noticeably thick as it's going to get thicker quickly. I also wouldn't mind seeing the Vanguard logo moved. I don't like logos on the bevels. Put them up here, or in this one, put them right there. That would have been nice. Just kind of keep them minimal to hidden. Yeah, that would have been really attractive and would have kept this thing pretty good looking. But Vanguard is one of the companies that seems to like to put their stuff on the bevels, and I'm going to complain about it every time I see it because there's a couple companies that do it and a couple companies I like that do it. And it's annoying because I really wish they weren't there. But beside that, where was I? Mirror, semi-mirror, and as you can see, it's kind of like a satin DLC here on the flats. Very, very attractive blade. That's what sold me. Good plunge grind, good sharpening choil. In fact, tons of plunge grind and sharpening choil life. And the stop pin is up inside, like way hidden down underneath. So that's not going to be a problem. That is going to give you tons of life. Of course, the thickness is going to limit that a little bit, which is why I had a feel I needed to point it out. Opening hole is the only method of actuation. Fortunately, it works well, both with the thumb and reverse flick. I already mentioned the S35, so don't need to do the... Man, it's even picking up the reflections there. Already mentioned the S35. And the action, as I said, punches pretty well across above its weight. It's really, really smooth. It's really, really nice. The carbon fiber handles, flat, but nice big chamfers, very comfortable in the hand. There's no voids anywhere on these things. They're quite well done. Very neutral handle shape, very, very useful, very functional. Big pocket clip. The pocket clip is a little bit weird, especially when you go to choke up and you can kind of grip on down on it. I can feel it just a tiny bit when I grip into it, but if I'm just, holding it here, it's fine. It doesn't really bother me. It's when you really start to grip down with it, you don't often really grip that hard down on it, so it's perfectly fine. I'm just pointing it out. The real thing that needs to be pointed out is there's not a lot of flex to this pocket clip. I think it needed to be a little bit more reduction in thickness here. It is titanium, and it has a continuous rise. It works pretty well in most pockets except for the thickest stuff. Medium depth carry, lanyard hole sticking out way at the back. It's not really hard to get in that pocket, but it is a little bit slick because the carbon fiber is flat and it is slick, and the pocket clip doesn't really offer too much extra. So do with that what you will. I haven't had issues, but I could see it being a problem if you, slipping off of it if your pants are causing an issue for some reason. Titanium backspacer. As I said, steel liners. That's to keep the price down. Some weight reduction in there. It's not a particularly heavy knife. Great lock bar access. I mean, tons of lock bar access. And, the biggest winner here, aside from this semi-mirror DLC, is the price on this semi-mirror DLC. This knife was $260 in S35 yen from, a company that's also a collab with more people getting their taste and this finish. Yeah, that's pretty darn good. You're not going to find that too many places. There is just like a standard stonewash, a standard matte DLC. That's $220. That feels about right. That's pretty much where that normally would come in. And then there's a fully polished variant with DLC and just a a plain blade. Those, yeah, I think those could probably be a little bit cheaper. I know that they're jump up in price, but it is the full mirror, and it does take more effort. It's hard to price something like that, but the semi mirror coming in at $260 is pretty crazy with the DLC. We have seen semi recently some companies putting kind of a polish, not quite a semi mirror, on some cheaper knives, but you don't really see it to this extent in this level of fit and finish with good steel, especially with a semi-mirror DLC, anywhere near as cheap as this. So that made this thing much more interesting. And really the reason I got this, as I said, the design itself is nice, but it's not like the most interesting design. And if you watch my channel or you see my channel, I do tend to like more interesting designs, such as the most recent Vanguard. I like interesting things, just different things. This one is very straightforward. It's a good knife. It's a solid knife. Could be a little thinner, but overall it is very good, and it's very nice. Good tip access, good functionality, very comfortable in the hand and everything like that. But the DLC is definitely the showpiece here. So, yeah. I really like this one. I don't think they're necessarily still in stock anywhere because, well, if they are, I'll take a look around. I can try to link one, but I got this off of White Mountain Knives. Always love White Mountain Knives. They do some great stuff. They're good guys over there. Good people over there. Let's not be. I don't know where I'm going with that. Shut up. I'm going to end things here and say thank you for watching. This is a fun knife. This is an interesting knife. I'm saying everything all over again. I'm just going to end. See ya. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye for now.